Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. And I just wanted to make a quick video about some of my Panerai. Before I get to it, though, I just want to say, thoughts and prayers to everybody going through this winter storm right now. I've seen it on the news; it looks like it's pretty bad, and so hope you guys get up and running, and hope you guys get made whole soon. Anyway, I wanted to make a quick video about Panerai. I'll make no secret of it. I'm a huge fan of Panerai. I think the brand is awesome. I think the watches are awesome. I think they're just criminally undervalued, which makes them a great buy on the secondary market. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about three of my Panerai, because Panerai is a brand that can be kind of confusing. They have a lot of different models. They're all numerically named, and so sometimes it's hard to figure out one or the other. And so here's a trio of Panerai. I have a white dial Panerai. That's in stainless steel. I have a titanium cased Panerai. This one actually has this interesting brown tobacco colored dial. And then on my wrist here, I'm going to take this off for a second. I have another black dial stainless steel Panerai. And so, on face value, no pun intended, a lot of these watches look the same, but they do have subtle differences. Other than the white and the black dials, you can see that this one is hours and minutes only. And then these two incorporate a seconds complication. All of these are Luminor models. And so Panerai kind of has, two different major case types. There are the Luminors, which are these. They have this interesting crown guard, kind of like quintessential Panerai. You can see it here. And then there's the Radiomirs. I really tend towards the, obviously, the Luminors, as you can see. So these are 44 millimeter Luminors, kind of like their standard models. And all three of them have manual wind, really simple, Unitas or Valjoux basic movements. You can see two of these have solid case backs, and then this one, I'm sorry, God, I just put that watch on. This one has a see-through case back, and you can see that really that beautiful movement right there. It's a simple movement, and Panerai makes no apologies for the simplicity of their movements. Although recent Panerai are moving more in-house, they have 3-day and 8-day manual wind movements. Those are awesome, but I like these older Panerai more than the newer ones, especially on the secondary market. Believe it or not, the simplicity and the common nature of these movements is a big benefit. And you're like, okay, what do you mean? Why would I want a more common movement? It makes them much easier to service. I mean, you can take this to any watchmaker. It's a simple pocket watch movement. It's large. It's easy to work on. The parts are ubiquitous. And that means that you can have your watch, get it serviced, and not have to send it off for weeks or sometimes months at a time. But they're hand winding. And so both of these, you can see that these are kind of keeping time. So these are set, but this one is wound down. And so let's kind of wind this movement and see kind of how that works. So it has a crown guard here. That's kind of like the classic Panerai feature. And so how you use it is there's a little clasp here. You just pop this clasp out, and that activates the crown, which is a spring-loaded mechanism here. It's a way to have a water-resistant crown without having a screw-in crown. And so it doesn't screw in, but like I said, it's held down by that mechanism right there. So you pop that clasp out, and then what you can do is I'm going to move this up close, wind the movement. And so you wind. This one doesn't have a running seconds. Oh, this one does have a running seconds hand. So you can see that seconds hand starts to move as you sort of get that mainspring wound. I'm going to wind until I feel some resistance. And that means the mainspring is fully wound. And then we're going to set the time. That's pretty close right there. And so it looks like the time based on my other watches is about 6:06. So I'm going to pull it out one notch, and then we're going to just advance that to 6:0, right around there. And then To push the crown back in, you just kind of use that lever, and there, boom, I'm in, and my watch is like up and running. These have 24 millimeter lug widths, and all three of these watches have screw-in lugs. So there's little screws that go in here, and there's little tubes that go into the straps. They also have these interesting straps, or these lugs that are actually push button, which is kind of interesting, so you don't scratch up your watch. But people that know Panerai, they really like the screw-in lugs. So these are just three kind of like really different watches here. You got black stainless steel, very simple one. You have a white dial stainless steel one that has the seconds complication. And then you have this titanium one, which is kind of like a different sort of metal concept. This one is much lighter than these two, but none of these three watches are hard to wear. And none of these three watches are something that wouldn't work as a daily driver for you. I did a video maybe like a week or two ago about how Panerai fits on people that have smaller wrists. If you're wondering about which Panerai to get, there are a bunch, and part of the fun is to research those watches. But if I was to give somebody advice, I would tell them to get a 44 millimeter, this size, Luminor case Panerai. Those are, I think, the most iconic, the most quintessential. I would tell them to get a hand winding watch too. And so instead of like, they have really cool automatic movements, they have chronographs and stuff, but I would tell somebody to get a 44 millimeter Luminor with a simple hand winding movement that has just hours and minutes, or hours and minutes and seconds, depending upon what you want. You have like infinite strap variations, whether those are OEM straps or aftermarket straps. And like I said, the watches represent tremendous value for the money. I mean, I got all three of these Panerai, all three of them, for the same price as I paid, that I would pay for like a Rolex Submariner on the secondary market. And it just shocks me how undervalued this brand is. And I don't think it's going to stay undervalued for long. Anyway, as usual, I'm just like rambling. But I hope seeing these three different Panerai, slightly different Panerai, give you some idea about the watches. So these are the 44 millimeter Luminors. These are the ones I think that have the best attributes in terms of the special crown guard, a ubiquitous lug width, and just a nice combination of features. Anyway, I hope you liked this quick video, and I'm probably going to be making a little more Panerai content here in the near future. Anyway, everybody, take care. God bless. Be safe. Bye.